Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Very good. Om. Namaste. Welcome everyone to this part of Satsang. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, I think you're going to miss the rain. So, very good. We use this time in Satsang for just giving a chance to read some of the letters and messages that come during the week. Sometimes there are also some letters that I didn't get a chance to read during the retreats, and I think by now those are done now, but we will see what came in today. Okay. So, welcome also to those who are still joining us via broadcasting for this part of Satsang. Very good. Dear Mooji, very frequently you say things like, the mind will be back. No, it says, I'll be back. I think it's Arnold Schwarzenegger that says something like that. So, very frequently you say things like, the mind will be back. He will not give up. It can give you all sorts of stuff to distract you, etc. Are you suggesting that the mind has a mind of its own, so to speak? In other words, are you saying that the mind is actually a living, intelligent aspect that has a will of its own, separate from your own? Bradley, his own. Well, even before you became aware that you could be aware of the mind, it was still functioning there. We didn't speak about mind because our relationship with the mind was so intimate. We considered it to be strongly who we are, at least a part of who we are. No? So, first thing, he says, very frequently you say things like the mind will be back. I say this because sometimes people, they come to satsang and they have some kind of opening, an initial, wow, like a sense something has fallen away and so on. No? And even if you had the most beautiful experience in satsang, I say such things like the mind will come back, and it does come back. I'll tell you more about that. That the mind will come back because I really want to guard people against a kind of complacency. That you get a nice feeling and you're just going to joyride the feeling. Well, I would rather just say, if you're feeling great, great, that's fine. But don't take any feeling to be, that's it. That the feeling is it. You see, you may have wonderful feelings, and they are wonderful also. They come from the self also. But the self by itself is not merely a feeling. It's not even a feelingless feeling. It is really beyond that. And we don't need to use imagination for this also. It is just without ego. And it's difficult to guess what the self is like because almost always we're coming from ego to see that. For this reason I say, please avoid formulating any premature conclusions about anything that you experience. Just let it happen and just be there at the place where you're observing these things and just be clear that it's another sensation, it's another experience, and they come and go. It's simple like that. And you'll see how beautifully that works for you. You see? So, dear Mooji, very frequently you say things like the mind will be back, he will not give up, it can give you all sorts of stuff to distract you, etc. Are you suggesting that the mind has a mind of its own, so to speak? In other words, are you saying that the mind is actually a living, intelligent aspect that has a will of its own separate from your own? Well, actually, mind and person are very linked. Mind has a broader definition. It is not only personal. Mind is all that we see, the trees and the stars and the people and everything is also the creative aspect or expression of consciousness is also, you can say, happening through the mind. So I don't want to limit mind because the word mind is not a dirty word, you know. It's very much a part of the dynamics of life also. But when I use mind, when I speak about the mind, I mean when the mind is in relation to the person or identity, then this is where all the trouble starts to come, like this. You see? In other expressions and some religions and so on, they speak of the natural mind. I am totally with this also. Natural mind means kind of it's free of ego. And that mind which is free of ego, that mind and the self are one. But the mind which is playing strong identity, the one that feels like it's disturbing you and say you're no good and so on, it is very much linked with the person, with personal identity. Okay, there's a strong relationship they're playing. Now, when the mind is attacking the person feels it itself, the person, is innocent. And the mind is so bad. The mind is so terrible. It keeps saying, you're not good enough. And you know what? The mind is right. The person is not good enough. Okay? But the consciousness that is believing itself to be the person forgets that it is consciousness and it is function of the person. And if the mind was not there to disturb the person might even stand no chance of really waking up to the truth. It is because the mind, so to speak, the psychological play of the mind, disturbs the person so much that it compels it to search for something higher. And that's why it recovers and comes to the proper place of what you may call presence or conscious presence, or the witness or something like that. If it stays only in the realm of personhood, it will suffer. It will suffer its existence. You follow like this, what I'm speaking? So actually most people in the world, although we get quite accustomed to living as ego, and of course as ego you can have a life as well, no? But then life and strife go together when we are living at the place only of ego. So often people say, oh, my mind keeps saying this to me. Who is it speaking to? It's not speaking to your true self. The mind, the psychological aspect of the mind, cannot intimidate your true self. It can only intimidate the idea you have of who you are. An idea of you is not you. So when the mind is bad and beating or kick you, this kind of stuff, okay, it's a sign you're still very strongly in personhood. We get this or not, you see? When you're the person, boom, when you come back to the place of consciousness, unassociated consciousness, then your mind becomes quite good. It'll start to serve in some way. Not totally, because it's always looking for a chance to catch. Seemingly, it plays like that. So what's his name? Bradley's saying, am I saying that the mind is actually a living, intelligent aspect that has a will of its own? We can look at it in different ways. In some ways of looking, the mind is seen as a kind of spirit also. In other ways, we can say, no, it's just thought and energy strongly linked to the person. The person and the kind of mind that molests the person, they go together. When the consciousness recovers from the dream of personhood and recovers into its more natural state as conscious presence, the mind also drops away from its aggressive nature. It's good, I can say? Okay. So I think we've covered this one. Okay. I'm going to take off this thing here. I feel like I'm in the office or something. Okay. Mooji Baba, beloved master, I feel compelled to write. My mind doesn't like being excluded either, which is precisely why the invitation is the gift from grace that it is. Mooji, beloved, the invitation has saved my life. I join the millions of beings who bless you. Thank you and all those following and all those touched and yet to be filled with the grace of God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I die in you. All my love, Becky. That's very good, no? The mind doesn't like being excluded. No. Sometimes we say, you fire the mind. Okay, mind, you're out of a job. But it shows up for work the next day. Sitting at the office desk and everything. You say, but hey, wait a second, but I fired you yesterday. No, you were just thinking about it, and since then I've improved. I'm really good. That's a nice one from Becky. Dear Mooji, I am writing this with a burning fear and anxiety. It surprises me how many questions, worries and fears can exist in my body-mind all at the same time. it surprises me how many questions, worries, and fears can exist in my body-mind all at the same time. It's true. It's like, if you listen to your mind, almost so many things, if you got a fearful type of tendency, can you imagine, somebody dies and on their certificate they died from food poisoning, drowning, bomb explosion, shot in the head, crashed in an aeroplane, suffocated in their sleep. I mean, how many things you can die from? And at the same time, we're worried about how many different ways we can die. No? This is mind. So it surprises me how many questions, worries, and fears can exist in my body-mind all at the same time. I have yet to have an awakening experience, but I can grasp your teachings on an intellectual level. I understand that I am the observer of my suffering. But if I am experiencing my life as an unfolding movie, this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear to watch. Okay? How do I get over this and make it into a masterpiece? Love, Alexander the Great, maybe? 19 years old, but Alexander 19 years old. So I have yet to have an awakening experience, but I can grasp your teachings on an intellectual level. I understand that I am the observer of my suffering. Well, I want to ask Alexander now, you say, I understand that I'm the observer of my suffering. When you say you understand, do you mean that you find yourself in the place of observing? Or do you just understand, oh yeah, okay, it makes sense? It has to be applied sense. Not just, oh yeah, okay, I understand that. No, it has to be applied, isn't it? He's agreeing. It's applied. I understand that I am the observer of my suffering, but if I am experiencing my life as an unfolding movie, this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear to watch. But we can go and we watch a movie in a cinema, and it has all kinds of things, love story, big drama, car chase, bang, 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 nice music, love scene, all these things are happening. No? And we laugh, and we cry, and we go, oh, and all these things. But all the while, it is a movie, isn't it? When you cry tears, it's salty tears, isn't it? It's not like just water. I mean, it's real salty tears, but you still know it's not really crying, really, because it's a movie. So all these things happen in the movie, no? But this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear to watch. Well, you cannot bear to watch it because you're still very strongly identified with it. You see? And who is not identified so strongly with their life? Well, quite a number of people. And in Sahaja, increasing numbers of people are not so identified with story and their life and so on. It's almost as though it's kind of been quietly disappearing, Sahajans, how many of you are experiencing this? Look, you see, so there's quite a few of them. That somehow, associating with a story, and this happened to me, and I went this and this. It's like it's just dropping away. And actually, the invitation has really helped a lot of people. You see? Just by listening to someone and really recognizing your true place. And then a lot of these myths and stories and tendencies, they are fading in their strength. You see? So what we're speaking is not just, hocus pocus, try and see. No, it really works. And I'm just going to finish and I'll call you, okay? So I understand that I am the observer of my suffering, but if I am experiencing my life as an unfolding movie, this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear to watch it. Like, oh. So basically, you are still very much involved in your movie. So you are watching the movie of your life, but even the watcher is still part of the movie, isn't it? Mm. How do I get over this and make it into a masterpiece? How do I, change this movie and make a really nice movie? Well, this, if you're into movies, you see, we're in the unmovie. We are into more the where we are looking from and feeling. You see, if I ask you to look not just at the screen of watching the movie, but just to be in your heart, where all this, not just the movie, but the people moving about, everything is seen from here, and pay a little attention to here. You see, you're in a much wider field than merely just watching a movie. You're in a much greater space, you see. And why isn't more people aware of this? It's not part of our culture yet. Can I say like that? It's not part of our culture to be encouraged to observe our behavior like that. We tend to just automatically identify, and who in our society is helping to say, hey, hang on a second, but don't just go with the reactions. You can watch even the reactions. You know how you can watch reactions? That even if something happened 1,000th of a second speed, like this, you can still observe it, and you're not traveling at any speed at all. Because it must occur to you. So even if it happens in 1,000th of a second, you are already present. It has to happen. You're not happening. So that's what I mean by perceiving, you see. And we don't seem to be encouraged to look like this, to just this. It's a kind of common sense, and yet it is hidden. That if I am experiencing my life as an unfolding movie, this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear watching. Now I want to say something about this, see? The movie cannot be, listen, can there be a terrible movie if there's a movie showing and there's nobody in the room? Okay? So there's nobody in the room, in the theater. It's an empty theater, movie showing. A terrible movie? Nobody knows. I know, stay with me what I mean, I'll explain what I mean by this. You have to be really involved and interested in that to really get something. It's like all the people who go to see this particular, there are 3 cinemas, okay? All the people who want to see, a blockbuster movie, what is one now? I don't know. Another one, Which one? The Negotiator. Negotiators are all on this side. In the middle, let's say, Greece. Okay? John Travolta. And on this side, what is this side? What this guy looks like? Dr. Zhivago? Okay, Dr. Zhivago. Okay? Okay. You all paid to see Dr. Zhivago. You all paid to see, what is it? Greece. Okay? And they all paid to see what? Negotiator. Okay? Supposing we say, okay, guys, let's take somebody from here, put them in this audience. Okay? But you want to see Negotiator. Now you're watching Greece, John Travolta. Okay? Okay. So put you over here. You maybe don't enjoy. You're working, there's nothing to you. People in Greece, all the people watching Greece are, but you're looking what I want to go back over here. Why? So the very fact that you paid to go and see this movie means that you're already interested. And if you're already interested, it can entertain you. If you're not interested, can it entertain you? It cannot. It's a good example, actually. So, you must be involved in your life, in the story, to either enjoy or suffer it. Something, I don't like this, I like this, and so on. Another one is not interested in it. You can look sometimes, the ushers, are they called ushers? The ones who bring the popcorn, they don't do that anymore, no? Okay, the ones who show you your seat with the lights, They've already watched it 7 times, the movie. So when everybody's going, and ooh, they're in the back sleeping or something. Because they're not interested, okay? Did they enjoy the movie? No, they're not really with it. And it's the same thing with life, generally speaking, I feel. If you have an interest in something, for it to be troubling you, you say, the movie is horrible. No, it is you who are horrible. No, sorry. Actually, this is partly true, okay? The movie is the movie, and you are watching it horribly, okay? It's not that somebody else may enjoy this movie and think, wow, that's really interesting. So, this is a terrible movie that I cannot bear to watch. It's like this, no? How do I get over this and make it into a masterpiece? Come to Satsang. It's a simple answer. In Satsang, you will actually, you watch yourself. That's not a movie. You pay attention to even the one who's watching a movie, and you see that even if you pay attention to the one who is watching the movie and suffering watching the movie, the one watching the movie and the movie, they go together. They can go over there. And you are left in some peace. Try it and see. So if you want masterpiece, what is masterpiece? It's still a movie. If you want the master's piece. Oh, you guys are ahead there. Okay, listen, you hear Alexander, you hear that. Okay. You want the master's piece. Didn't I have one here? Okay, take another one here. Oh yes, you want to say something still? Okay.
Please.
Portuguese translation. Yes, coming right up. Okay.
Obrigada, Pai, por me chamares para casa.
Thank you, Father, for calling me home.
Eu gostaria que aclarasses algo para mim que tem a ver.
I would like you to clarify something for me.
When I do, quando eu faço auto-inquirição de Ramana Maharshi,
when I do the self-inquiry of Ramana Maharshi,
yes,
é muito perto do convite.
It feels very close to the invitation.
yes.
Fica nada, espaço vazio.
Nothing remains but emptiness.
But, desculpa. Quando eu tento usar a outra técnica,
when I try to use the other technique,
e é isto que eu precisava da tua clareza,
and this is where I need your clarification,
quando eu ponho toda a atenção no peito,
when I bring all the attention to my chest,
como Ramana indica,
as Ramana says,
sensações de amor, paz, liberdade, alegria aparecem com muita força.
feelings come very strong of peace, joy, love.
Como que o astral superior ou algo do tipo
like some kind of superior level or something like that,
vem ajudar-me,
comes to help me.
Yes.
mas aí eu não consigo estar como na auto-inquirição ou no convite.
But in that place, I cannot be as in self-inquiry or in the invitation.
But in that place, you cannot be as you are in self-inquiry and invitation. Why? Which place you're talking? When you say, when you bring the attention to here, and then all this comes, peace and joy and love comes there, and you say the grace comes to help you, but you cannot experience the same thing through self-inquiry or the invitation. Is that what you're speaking?
Quando estou com aquelas sensações,
When I'm
No.
having those feelings,
não consigo ficar como observador.
I cannot remain as the observer.
Ajuda-me, por favor.
Okay, let me see. Because when you're having those feelings, you call them feelings. When those sensations or feelings are present, you are aware of them also, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Then you say you cannot remain as the observer. Forget about the word observer. When that is present, that joy and love and so on, no? Then you feel very happy. You feel very happy. Maybe you don't care to observe. You are just in the joy and the happiness.
It is.
Okay, so what is the problem with this now? The thing is that if it is an experience, that now there's joy and peace and love coming, and then you say, yes, this is what I want. But they will leave you also. They will go. They come and go, no? Okay? There is a bliss, a joy that comes and goes. And this joy that comes and goes is sitting inside a bliss or a joy which does not come and go. That is the true bliss. You see, the bliss of being. It is not an experience to the being, now I'm feeling happy and so on. Happiness and joy, peace, they go with the being. They are the same, just like the flower and the fragrance of the flower, they are one. You see? It's like this. No? Okay.
Então, o melhor para mim será a auto-inquirição e o convite.
So the best for me would be the self-inquiry and the invitation.
Also in the invitation, sometimes people, just like someone here, one sister, she said also in the invitation, that then sometimes the mind comes and invites her back into mind and person again. And then she has the experience that she's lost contact with the self because she's gone back into the person. So it can happen also there. You see, in all these cases, in each of these cases, the self is recognized, but the person is also there for a bit, no? And if we don't see that the person is itself an object of perception, you may think that it is the person that is enjoying all of these things. And if it's the person that is enjoying these states, of course they are going to go, and the person too is going to go eventually. But he will leave after they go. Is it clear?
Yes, but
You see, at a certain point, when you see all these things, no, then it is registered now in you. It is clear that you are the emptiness itself. You're not someone in emptiness. You are the emptiness itself. You see? So once this is recognized, it's profoundly seen. It cannot be unseen. It has announced itself here. That's what is here. So from here, whatever is happening, the personality of these come back, you know that they are traffic, they're coming and going. You don't give that much importance. If it is the person that is here, it is the person that will feel pulled out. If it is the self that is here, the sense of the person being pulled out means nothing. Person coming, person going means nothing.
Quando há estas sensações, a sensação clara é que não há personalidade, só há essas sensações.
When I experience these feelings, it's clear that there is no person or personality there. There's just these sensations.
Yes.
Porque a personalidade não pode criar aquilo.
Because a personality could not craft these sensations.
Yes, yes. So why should that change? We should not then be speaking like recalling something from the past. It should still be like that now also. You follow? I say, when this happened, like this happened 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago. No, because then, no, but it must, if it's true, it's also true now also. The same looking place remains unaltered. It's the same place. Any number of things can come and go, but they're not important. You see? What is important is the recognition of that which is always present. It never goes away. It becomes so natural that it doesn't even have to be meditated upon. One day I was leaving this village and I went to the train station and waiting for the train, and a number of people from Sahaja came to see me off. So we're waiting and the train is coming now. And somebody says, Mooji, could you give us final teaching? Train is coming. You have anything to say, final words? So I found these words coming, and the words I found coming, I said, there is nothing I have to be. I don't even have to be myself. Who understand that? It simply means I don't have to try and be me. It's clear now. One time it was not clear. One time I had that same confidence about my person. Now I don't have this confidence about the person. You see? Now I know this is the self. It doesn't change. I used to think it was the person. Now that dream is over for that. You see? Still, God keeps something, maybe keep some duality in you, maybe keep some kind of identity in you to operate and work in the world, maybe it can happen. But still, if that identity is there, it's still inside the totality. It is still inside the totality. It is as though you come to a recognition that there is just the infinite consciousness, and somehow this infinite consciousness and yourself are the same thing. But there seems to be like you keep on growing inside your infiniteness. It's a strange thing, isn't it? The infinite cannot grow, it just is. But something seems to be experiencing more maturity, growing more and more inside the ungrowing infinite self. Like this. One day you may taste what they say is death, okay? But suppose your death happens in your infiniteness. I say, we only live once, but that's forever. It means maybe you have chapters of life, you know? One time you're this, one time that, but you're still the one life. Just like we are lots of different situations, you've had lots of different jobs, but you are always you. You may have lots of different lives, but you're still always you. In the most fundamental sense. You have to learn something. When we are in the mode of consciousness and changing and growing and so on, all these things we need, even painful things, even on discomfort, we have to experience them. Because it's through difficult and challenging situations that we grow and become more strong. So just let it happen, just let it be happening. But where it goes wrong is in the interpretation, not in the thing itself. So the life is unfolding in a certain kind of way. That is fine up to a point. The trouble comes when something from here starts to interpret the things personally. Then you say, oh no, not again, it's so terrible what this thing happened. In here, the experience is happening in here, in you, not out there. It's not out there that you take the reading of life. It's how you process it inside here. And that depends upon our conditioning and habit and identity, you see?
Então, essas duas técnicas são o mesmo? Ou só queria clarear um pouco mais em relação a porque é que ele diz para pôr a atenção no peito e ela...
So both these techniques, these two techniques are the same. I wanted just a bit more clarification on why he says
auto-inquirição ou absorção no coração.
Why he says about self-inquiry or absorption in the heart.
Self-inquiry leads to absorption in the heart. Invitation leads to absorption in the heart. You see, for many years, my main emphasis and pointing was through self-inquiry. It is a very powerful tool, but unfortunately, many people, they think too much. And so they are treating it like some kind of mental thing or something. And the results were not so strong as I would like them to be. Self-inquiry is a very powerful tool for exposing the falseness of ego. Okay? The invitation came. It is a much more accessible tool. It seems that like self-inquiry was going through the forest, cutting the trees to come out, the trees of ego, of attitude, of past, of, like this. So self-inquiry was chopping these weeds to get through the forest. The invitation is taking you over the forest, okay? But rather this way, taking you back this way, okay? Now out there, So, which you prefer? You see, in a sense, more people are finding the same result also, no? That somehow it brings them back, so to speak, to the place they never really left. They just dreamed that they left it. You understand this thing? So it seems more easy. Now, the people who have been practicing self-inquiry for these years, combined with the invitation, they are formidable ninjas. They are ninjas. It's a Chinese movie. Because where the self-inquiry is so deep, it covers every corner like this, no? But what happened is that the people were still continuing, yes, but when I do this and so somehow the graces come also to simplify and try another door, because God has infinite ways to teach. So through the invitation, instead of chopping down, we are just we just float over the whole thing, and somehow you float back into your attention floats back into your heart again. Yeah. Oh, it feels good. It's like this. Why not?
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Thank you, Dina. Very nice. Om Namaste, Sri Mooji. First of all, thank you for everything. Now I see life. In these last months, I started to witness the unchanging in me and in every single being. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia some years ago, and during these years before meeting a guru, I was struggling. I didn't accept what happened to me. I blamed other beings and wished bad things on them. After listening to you, all these things are disappearing now. I accept all that happens to me as God's grace, and now I pray more good things to other beings than to desire bad things on them. Thank you. One more time, I love you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Ruben, Portugal. Beautiful, no? Well, a lot of that. Dear Mooji, I want to thank you for all the love and wisdom that you spread. I have managed to become free of thoughts and stay in a state of pure consciousness most of the time. However, I still don't feel the conviction that there is only one eternal self. It's okay. It's okay for a moment. Every now and then, I wonder if this state of pure consciousness might also just be a construction of my brain that just lacks any perceptual content or thoughts. Therefore, I cannot find the conviction that myself is eternal and will continue after the death of the body. Just focusing my attention on pure beingness and silencing the mind doesn't give this conviction to me. Is there something that can be done about this? Best wishes, Danielle from Bochum, Germany. Bochum? What? Bochum. Sorry. So, okay. I've managed to become free of thoughts and stay in a state of pure consciousness most of the time. My advice, continue like that. Because then from the mind come, you see, yeah, but I'm not yet able to say that I am the pure consciousness. Okay, it's fine, no hurry. It's enough that you're seeing that what I've managed to become free of thoughts and stay in a state of pure consciousness most of the time. Okay? At a certain point, this question will come. Who is staying in the state of pure consciousness? Let me tell you why I say that. Is there someone staying in the pure consciousness? Or are you the pure consciousness and then sometimes somehow identification comes and some energy goes to be there? There is not someone staying. You see, this is the thing that happened because it happened in the retreat recently that some people, one or two people, will come and say, I followed the invitation, it was fantastic. I've never felt so pure, everything is so wonderful, everything is as you say. But the next day, it was gone. But you said in the invitation, I cannot go. Yes, I did say cannot go, but today is different, it's gone. What has happened? Then I reflected on this a little, And this is what I found. Something inside, you see, is afraid of the discovery of the totality. There's a feeling that I might totally disappear. Okay? So what has happened then is as though you get a long rope and you tie it around your waist, and then you tie the other end to a tree in the known, in the apparent known, in order to go into the unknown. Okay? So somehow you're going, okay, I'm going into the unknown, I'm going to the unknown, okay? But it's a bungee jump for you, because you got a safety thing there. You think, just in case the unknown is unbearable, I can come back up and I'll find my tree again in the known. There's something is done. It's very subtle though. I'm making a bit of a joke, a cartoon about it, but it's still there, very subtle. So then what happened is that the experience comes, undeniable, okay? But also the sense of the person enjoying it is there also. Because what? You don't, on a subtle level, we don't want to lose the sense of person. Why? Because there's fear. Just in case the unknown doesn't work out. Okay? I've got my back door, I can quickly go back. Where all the rest of you will be lost, I'll go back to the known. Something subtle is going on there, you see? Because this kind of doubt, this kind of trick, this kind of trap is also part of the mind's scheme. You're not going to become something different from what you are. In fact, you're going to stop becoming something you're not. That is what's happening, I see. So this is something subtle. Why is it then that when I come to this, why is it lost? Well, it's not that. You just went back to your tree. How can I relate this to this now? So I managed to become free of thoughts and stay in the pure consciousness most of the time. Okay? So there's someone staying in the consciousness most of the time. Maybe with practice it's less effort, but still the feeling there, I'm still staying there most of the time. Okay? However, I still don't feel the conviction that there's only one eternal self. And I say, don't worry about that. If you are genuinely, even with the feeling that, most of the time, and is consciousness in itself most of the time, or all of the time, or some of the time, or timeless. You see, it depends on who you take yourself to be, you see. So every now and then I wonder if this state of pure consciousness might also just be a construction of my brain that just lacks any perceptual content or thoughts. Therefore, I cannot find the conviction that myself is eternal and will continue after the death of the body. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen after the death of the body, okay? You just continue, because what you are discovering, even while we have a body, we had not discovered it. Even while we had the body, we had not fully discovered what is possible to discover while your body is still warm. We have not used it. Now you're discovering something, and that's very beautiful. You're discovering that by looking from a certain place, your thoughts, they can subside. You can feel peace. Is that not good? Yeah, so just stay with that, keep staying with that. And gradually, other things will keep coming into you. Other things will keep, wow, a new thing will come, a new thing, a deepening will happen. So be patient and like that. Sometimes it's the mind that says, look, you've been doing this now for 6 weeks. Where's the joy? You see, and you go, oh yeah, where's the joy? It doesn't say, look, at least you've got the peace, that's good. No, it says, no, but where's the joy? You go, yeah, where is the joy? You know? Yeah. How comes you don't know you're eternal yet? Oh, yeah, it's true. How comes I must write to Mooji about that. I mean, where is it? How come I don't know I'm eternal? Things come gradually. You see, with some people, in some cases, it comes very quickly. In other cases, it seems very slow. Why so slow? Because there is still maybe a fear that is holding the person, keeping the person, you see. It's still the person's sense is there because we want something from the world, you see. And so therefore, it keeps you in time. You know, nothing wrong with time as a play. And even when you wake up, you may still say, wow, I'm late for work or something. There's still the sense of time, but it will be a lot more superficial. When we are deeply identified in personhood, everything seems to become an emergency. Everything boils over very quickly. You see? It's like boiling milk. You can't go away. You have to keep watching it. Okay? So when we are in the ego state, we are like that. You always have to be attending to life and doing like this. As you become more accustomed to your natural state as consciousness, something relaxes. There's a natural trust in life. And you come to observe what someone had repeated, that life takes care of life. In the ego state, we are much too impatient, too restless. And so we mainly just disturb ourselves, actually. Dear Mooji, I have received the invitation with open arms, but to my surprise, everything that is bad regarding the mind attacks has come to me. I have been in a mental hospital before because of the voices, the noises, and impressions I hear and see. Now I cannot hold my legs firm, this agitation, because of the medicine. What should I do? While doing the self-inquiry on what is happening to my body in these states of agitation, I still can't stop. Even questioning who is the one who stops won't satisfy my body-mind. There are questions that are answered through the grace of self-inquiry, but when it comes to my bodily agitation and restfulness, I can't compete. I feel a tiredness and boredom doing self-inquiry and not seeing any results, even though I don't expect anything. Actually, my advice on a number of occasions is don't only use self-inquiry as a painkiller. Sometimes we're feeling bad, and then we start, who is feeling bad, who is feeling... No, it's you can, but it's not the best use. The purpose of self-inquiry is to wake up to the truth of who you are. If you wake up to the truth of who you are, and your leg is still shaking by itself, does it matter so much? Something doesn't panic, it feels like it's okay. You know, there's nothing I seem to be able to do about it. Or you may find also that this movement just stops one day. Oh, just by itself. We don't know. But what you are writing here, through the grace of self-inquiry, but when it comes to my bodily agitation and restfulness, I can't compete. You can't compete with this energy. I feel a tiredness and boredom doing self-inquiry and not seeing any result. So doing the self-inquiry and it's not seeing any result. What result? Is it the stopping of this movement? Or the result is that I see that that movement is not me, it's not really the truth of what I am. Is spirituality simply to make you live longer? Is it to become more successful? What are we searching for the truth for? Is it to have some benefit in the world particularly? I mean, in any case, the one who wakes up to the truth, even in the remaining of the life you have on this planet, it is lived in a higher state of consciousness. A great joy and peace is there. But even if trouble comes and so on, it's still, you would never want to exchange what you have discovered for anything at all. You see. I hope that through grace and kindness, all agitation comes to a rest. And so may it be. Bogdan from Romania. And so may it be. May all the beings who have been in a similar situation or a different situation receive your blessings and help. Thank you very much, Mooji. Bogdan from Romania. You see, many years ago, this kind of satsang, this type of gathering, was not so popular, you know. In the traditional times of when there were the sages and they have some few students or so like that, there'd just be few people who go. It was not easy to come to this type of teaching. I don't know why. It was not easy, you know. But through the emergence of people like, of beings like Ramana Maharishi and Papaji, Srinivasa Sakadata Maharaj and so on, they made the teachings much more accessible to many people. And some people, their temperament is too restless. And the master would give some things to try and to soften that restlessness and to bring it in, but you know, they would still struggle. But after a while, they will come back into the understanding. You see, when we are having satsang, my total conviction in my heart is that you have to get it. Not because I demand that, but because I see you are this, you know? It's not something that you are going to develop. You cannot develop the self. It's perfectly, always perfect, right where it is. But it grows layers, so to speak. And one of the layers it makes is the layer, it paints a portrait of itself as a person, and then somehow comes to live in this idea of a person. And so, in a sense, it's as though it forgot its original nature. Satsang is only to remind you. Say, this is where you make the mistake. You see, you're still too strongly identified with the person. Let's show you how to get over this. And that's how satsangs would happen, you see. And this is how I prefer to keep it also. That we can look together. And now, because we are speaking a common language, because I'm not speaking to your person, you see. We are not one person speaking to, 400 persons. It is consciousness speaking with consciousness about consciousness. And this is why it becomes easier, because I don't treat you as person. For me, a person would be a disrespectful way for me to regard you. It is so limiting. So because I don't have to say, okay, I'm going to treat them like... No, I can't help it, actually. More the conviction of your person comes from you than from me, you see. But when we speak, and then gradually I see, wait a second, some beings, they have such a powerful urge and earnestness in them. I know it's not going to be long before they break up, they break out of this, caterpillar stage and fly off. You see? Because there's something inside. It's either like they've had enough of this egoic state. It's just unbearable. You know what happens when you are not able to bear your own ego? Either you're going to go crazy or you're going to be free. But something has to happen. The thing is that we can tolerate and persevere with our egotistic states for quite a long time. Because we have a double loyalty. We have a loyalty to our identity in egohood, and we have a sort of like an urge, a desire for freedom. So something is, it keeps the game going somehow. And gradually, the scales are tilting more, hopefully towards the side of waking up. Because just a little taste of that awakening in you brings you more joy than perhaps you've ever experienced in your whole life. So at least this is your clue. You say, I must be going in the right direction. I need to go more in this direction, you see? And therefore, I would hope that each one takes it, take it to heart. I don't regard you as a group. Each one of you is a self. And it's what you do with it, And true grace, you take it and you be with it. Sometimes I see this play, sometimes people come and they come as partners, they come together, and one of them is really, really listening, and the other one starts to distract them. Start to hold their hand and touch their knee and stuff. And then you miss altogether what I'm speaking. These energies are playing all the time. Distractedness, little jealousies, little fears, and all these things. So it is best when you come, you just be singular in your intention, and focus, because I cannot, if my daughter is sitting here, and if she came to me and say, Dad, what is the greatest gift you can give to me, Dad? Because and if I had 1 million euros or something, and I could have a choice between giving her 1 million euros and helping her to be free. Buy 1 million euros, you can go somewhere else. I cannot think of something it would be such a poor thing to say, give you the 1 million euro. Because you completely ruin yourself on it. I'd rather you be poor in your life. She's there, I'm telling her right now. So I'd rather she be poor and be free than have all the things you think that life can give you and just be mediocre in your life. And so I am not selecting who, this one I want to be free, that one, no. Anyone who can come and who feels it, then to you it belongs. To you it belongs. You see like that, no? Thank you. Dearest Mooji, thank you for the invitation. I had just opened the book and started to read when I got a call that a loved one was passing. Because I had participated in the Zima retreat online and have listened to the invitation every day since, I was aware enough to honor the situation. Better yet, I was awakened enough to see and live the innovation. What does innovation mean? Is it the same thing? Okay, thank you. Over the course of 4 days, I stood before the beloved one's passing and saw that isness is not touched by duality. Is does not pass because it was never born. Once the passing took place, I understood why Buddhists contemplate the dead corpus. Clearly, there are no concepts, as you so often say. It is a social conditioning and concepts that are believed to be a person. Is beyond concepts and the belief in social conditioning. I write this as an honoring of the invitation and to the coming home of my true self. with deepest gratitude for your gracious presence and the innovation's wonderful message. J. Houston, Southern California. So we could call it the innovation to freedom. Nobody told me about it. It's the first time I'm hearing it, you know. I'm 64 years old. I mean, my gosh. Many things. You had enough or? Okay, let's see. All right, this is another one. Okay. This one has a picture on it. Namaste, beloved Master. I started doubting recently if I am on the right path. I had some moments of clarity, but it seems now everything is getting darker and darker. What am I doing wrong? The invitation seems to be not working for me. I am doing it again and again. It seemed I had the answers in my heart, but I never touched peace, even remotely. I wrote you a few letters in despair, but it seems I am sending my emails to eternity. I can see your great light, beloved Master. I thought my heart was open to receive freedom from you, and I was expecting it every moment while watching your videos and sharing happy tears and laughter with the earnest seekers when they were relieved of mind's molestations. It felt I am the next one to receive freedom. What's holding me back, beloved? It seems I'm getting exhausted with my efforts, and I can't seem to find the effortless. I was in Zimar last spring, and I wasn't chosen by the May and June lottery. Much love and gratitude, Master, to you and your amazing team. Russian Olga from Canada. Okay, I started doubting recently if I am on the right path. I had some moments of clarity, but it seems now everything is getting darker and darker. In what way? Darker and darker. Things are getting darker and darker. I am witnessing darker and darker. No? And even if they change and start to get lighter and lighter, I'm also witnessing from the same place. Darker and darker, lighter and lighter. Darker, lighter. Lighter, lighter. Oh, darker, darker. Am I not watching it? Now, what will make the difference is how established I am in my seeing place. If I doubt the seeing place, then I start to pay attention. Oh, I don't want to go into these dark states and so on like that. If you observe them and find out to whom are they happening, you'll see if it is to the isness or is it to the person. This you must clarify. You see, with this question, to whom are these dark states coming? And find out. Is it to the isness? Is the isness suffering from darkness, a darkness attack? Or is it from the person? You see? So if it is from the person, the attacks, no? That which is observing them, is it feeling emotional towards the person? You have to pay attention to where you're looking from. Are you looking from an emotional state? Is the looker, is that which perceives, is it emotional? Is it somehow attached to personhood? This you must be very clear about. Otherwise, we get pulled into the identity, and then you write letters like this. You know, I just think my way is good. All this now is in the mind. You see, the mind is writing here. And what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Well, you're identifying too strongly with what you're seeing. You know, maybe by the time I'm reading this letter, maybe your mood have changed. I'm now reading something you were thinking maybe 2 or 3 hours ago, or 3 days ago. See, it's not current. We are not current with our feelings. Maybe I'm reading a letter and this thing has passed and this person's at a party dancing now. So if it's just a state, if it's just a state of being, it cannot be, I know this, it cannot be the state of who you are. It has to be the state of who you think you are. And that's not reliable, you see. So once we are trying to treat the state, but it's already gone. Often it's like that. How much energy do you want to give to what is ephemeral by nature? I want to ask. That's not to say, much of life is ephemeral by nature, meaning it's momentary. Okay? Should you give your attention to it? Yes, sometimes we have to give our attention to life, no? But not your complete identity and dedication and so on, because this is like having a map of the Sahara Desert, basically, and think, I thought it was here. The suns are always changing. Everything is changing every minute. The life is a bit like this. Find that which is unchanging. And then you may experience what is changeful much more pleasantly. If all you do is just in the realm of the changes 1 minute, you're always like this. But if you recognize the stillness in you, the place which is not still for 2 days, it's timelessly still. That is its nature, no? And yet in the dynamic expression of life, it is also in the dynamic expression of life. It gives the dynamic expression of life its dynamicness. And yet at the same time, it's absolutely still. But if it's not aware of itself, then you say it's sleeping, it's living a dream. And I feel mostly we are living dream. Yet what you are is not a dream. But it also causes the dream to happen. The invitation seems to be not working for me. Did the invitation dislike you? Oh, I'm not going to work for you. No. No, it is the same, you know. The same invitation is going to work for your cousin. Wow. So it works for you. Which part works for you? Let me see. I want to try. You see, it's like that. It's not the way it really is, you know. Sometimes we are trying too hard, but as a person, and the person, I'm trying hard and hard. Rather than that, why not try and witness that there's this feeling that I should keep trying and trying, but that feeling is watched. In the place where it's watched, is this place trying to be anything? Then why not just, you see? But as soon as the trying comes, we feel we cannot avoid it. We get pulled into that state, and we are trying to change the state. So a little bit of effort is needed, and helped by grace and understanding of what your true position is, and when combined and applied in this way, what fruit you are tasting. Maybe we're living and experiencing an age that everything is coming from impatience. We want quick invitation, you know, everything quick. And if we don't get it, we lose interest. Our attention span is very short for many things, and we just move on to the next thing. But for this, use this life to win timelessness. Use time to find the timeless. You have a better deal than that? And then also, just a little bit more. It seemed I had the answers in my heart, but I never touched peace, even remotely. I wrote you a few letters in despair, but it seems I'm writing my emails to eternity. I can't see your great light, beloved Master. I thought my heart was open to receive freedom from you. Why should it not be open? The heart, your true heart, cannot close. It cannot even open. It just is. Whatever, it's not a box that opens and closes or something. It's not a door. Your heart means life. It is yourself. You are life, more than you are living life. You are life itself. And at the same time, your life unfolding, is visible to you. Unlock this mystery of your own being. That's the great opportunity. What is more great than that? Okay. Namaste.
You speak about this fear, which comes when.
Come, go to the microphone. Speak in the microphone.
Yeah, the fear which comes when you are afraid to leave the person, and but also that we suppress the fear, and then kind of we get comfortable in the person, and the fear is gone. I just feel the fear, and I can't get rid of it by myself. Yeah. It just comes, and it just takes all over my body. And it paralyzes me, and it's stopping me.
It's the same thing. Suppose, let's take it in your case, you say, I just feel fear. It's like it's painted all over my body. It's just there, like most of the time, much of the time, all of the time, I don't know. But let's say it is here now. And this fear feeling is in the body, it's in the lungs, it's in the blood pumping through your body. It feels like that. But you're aware of it, isn't it? Okay? So just follow me. You're aware of this fear. So I'm going to tell you, don't try to do anything about the fear for a moment. Let's let it work for you. Okay? So the fear is there, and it's inside. Something inside is reacting to it. Also like, that is also perceived. It's also perceived. Okay, good. Don't try and change the fear. It's natural that you want it to stop. Okay, but just bear with me. The fear is there, or whatever it is that's there. It's something is want to fight it, but there's just the awareness now. I want to come only to the place of the awareness only of it. No? Okay? So the fear is crackling in the body. But now I'm pointing you only to the awareness without which nothing could be experienced. Without the awareness, nothing could be known, nothing could be perceived. Okay? It is the light of consciousness itself. No? So with the awareness, these things can be felt in the body. And even the desire to stop it and to wonder what, all this is perceived. Okay? So just take the attention, let the feeling keep in the body for the moment. But I want to hear just about the awareness itself. The awareness itself. To the extent that if this feeling in the body changes, it will also just register effortlessly in the awareness. You will say, now Mooji, actually, that feeling has changed, or it's getting worse, or whatever, okay? But tell me about the awareness itself, just the awareness itself. Does the awareness exist to support this feeling? Is the purpose of the awareness only to show this feeling? No. Well, I shouldn't answer that question. I just couldn't bear it, Is the awareness is there, no? So is the awareness and the feeling the same thing? No. Okay. So just pay attention to the awareness, because a lot of attention has gone to the feeling of fear, okay? We understand the feeling, I'm not going to ask you to do anything like, some anti-fear mantra or whatever. Just let the fear feeling be there. But just be with me, just in the place of awareness itself. Okay? So, including the fear feeling, you can also hear my voice in your awareness space. My voice, or any other sound of a bird singing, or someone dropping a bottle or something, all this is heard. But does the awareness collect them? No. Does it collect or save the message of this feeling in the body? This shh? Is it writing itself inside the awareness that I've been here? I'm asking. No.
It's still here. It's just
Yeah,
like,
okay, now we're going to come to that. But just for one moment with me, just look at the awareness, which is the space in which all your perceptions report to the awareness itself. Yes? Just awareness itself. Okay? Even the tendency, the tension, and the attention that goes towards the body is appearing inside the awareness itself. Okay? So, if something is strong or loud, something even assesses it to be loud or assesses it to be strong. So both the sensation, the strength of it or the weakness of it is just apparent inside the awareness itself. Bring your attention only to the awareness, so that anything can pass through the awareness at all, anything at all. What is the awareness itself like? Because you say, you admit it exists independent of the present sensations in the body-mind. Is true or not? Yeah. The awareness itself exists independent of the information that's passing through it. Can we say like this? So presently, or for whatever duration of time, this feeling of this fear is there, okay? Is there a message in the fear? Like, is it about something?
no, I don't want it anymore.
No. Is it about something?
No.
Why isn't it just a sensation? Like, why isn't it just a sensation? What is giving the reading of fear? Fear of what? Fear of what?
Of you.
Fear of me.
Not really.
No, it's good, you are speaking the truth. You have a fear of me. Okay? And this is understandable also because something, actually, to be honest, other people sometimes experience that. Why? Not because, I'm wearing horns and running about, not because of that, but something inside feels like if you go close to that guy,
Yes, it's exactly.
he's going to get rid of you or something.
Yes.
Okay, all right? Yeah, okay. So, and so the fear comes. Why are you still here? I don't see any chains around your ankles. And why are you still here? There's so much fear. But what are you afraid of? Why are you still here? It's a Sunday. The rain has stopped falling. Get out of here. Why are you still here?
Am I still here?
Are you asking me if you're still here? No, I am asking you, why are you still here? With all this fear of me, what keeps you here?
I can't answer that.
You can't answer that? No. But why you got up from where you were sitting?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, because of this fear, I knew that I have to face this fear.
All right. So
Yes.
the fear is a fear of me, and you have to face this fear by coming towards me.
Yes, because I was so afraid. I just...
Yeah. What you're afraid may happen.
It's like I'm just going to die. I don't know.
Okay. Take one step more close to me. That's 3. Go on, keep on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa, 10, 11. Is the fear increasing or not? It's working. Yeah.
Fear? No, it's less.
It's less.
Yes.
So the closer you come, this doesn't make sense at all. Maybe you try coming a bit closer then. And now?
Still a little bit, but it's much less.
Much less.
Yes.
Come a little bit more. How is it now?
It's really nice.
Yeah? Oh, you're touching also. Right. So, is it still true?
No, it's not. I don't feel any fear now.
Yeah, because sometimes actually, when the mind comes something, some fear, this is going to happen, and if you don't face it, you faced it, If you don't, you had to. Okay. If you don't face it, then it can keep on whispering these things to you, and then you internalize them. And in your case, I said, okay, well, maybe you show how bad it can get.
Oh my God, I was so afraid. So long.
Yes.
For so long. It would just always, I would go off and it would say something, oh, don't go there, you don't want to, And now when you spoke about it, it just was unbearable. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
It just was like, I knew it's,
And try and call it back again. Don't just feel thankful it's not. Say, come back and we want to take a look at you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hmm?
Thank you.
You don't want to try it, to call the fear back?
Oh, no. I don't know, it's not here now. I don't want it. No.
Yeah, no, what I mean by that is like, you see you survived it up to now. So you don't have to be hoping. If you do this, it's almost like, somehow you're giving life to it. I say, okay, fear. Hey, where are you? Come and say hello to Mooji and everything. Wow. It's actually like that about many things, in fact. We feel fear about some things. Of course, it's natural to also feel some fear if you're in the sea, you see a shark swimming around, somebody goes, hey, I was swim with the sharks. I'm not sure about that. That might be quite a good reaction, no? You see somebody swimming in the water, come, the sharks are okay, but they only have one leg. You say, no. I'm very happy, because if you say it's been like that, I was not aware that
Me also, for a long time, I suppressed that fear.
Okay.
I would always find an excuse to hide, and I couldn't hide anymore.
Yeah. I'm very happy that it's not there, no?
Thank you, Guruji. I love you.
You do?
Yes.
Good, good. That's a good result. That's very good. Another one? Another fair one? Okay.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for everything, and I love you.
Yes.
I just wanted to come up because I wanted to ask you if it would be possible to pray for Central Africa. There's a war going on right now. It's between the Muslims and the Christians. And it's a very poor country in the center of Africa. A lot of people doesn't even know. And I just felt, while I was listening to you today, that they would need some of our help.
Yes. Yes. And everybody can pray. If you, the energy that we put to pray for one person, you can pray for the whole world. Why not? No? Everyone can do that wherever you are, not only in this place, you know. And some things are, in some way, they are unavoidable, it seems. I don't know, we don't go so much into. But just that somehow, that our human family can wake up increasingly to a more harmonious existence. And that we really, just as in one side pain and hurt and sorrow is there, in the same side can feel the same thing. And that's, by God's grace, I also pray that we are just growing out of this stage of darkness and into a more awakened state of consciousness, because it is possible for us to live together. It is possible, you know, that we can live with understanding. What do we lose? Look how much we stand to lose, and look how much we stand to gain by understanding each other, you know. I don't know what is the real cause of these things, but God's grace and love. And in each one in whom that awakening is alive, and, you know, turn your attention to the whole world and just bless and seek healing for all our people, all our family. We're all one family. Here also, maybe people from probably every country could be here. And we are one, you know? So, it's so distressing to hear and to see, whereas it can come where life can seem so cheap. And other things, expendable, perishable things, are put in higher value. And the real value in the human existence is really the opportunity that we have to wake up to the truth of who we are. Because in our truth, we don't do this. In our truthful nature, we don't do this. So my prayer goes to everyone, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, everybody, that in our world it becomes maybe an age of enlightenment. It is said in some scriptures that this is the age of Kali Yuga, meaning a dark time. But we can't just accept that lying down. We are at the cutting edge of the human experience. Meaning we are the life force now, the wave of the human experience, and it is our turn to see what we can find in this life, what we can make from this life. Start with ourselves also, but don't close eyes to others. But start with yourself. Wake up and yes, support awakening, support life, support at least have in your heart the respect for life, the respect for other beings. Though. You have to take care as much as possible the human family also. May it be so.
Thank you.
Hallelujah, amen. My Master's prayer, let there be peace and love among all beings in the universe. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hallelujah, amen. Thank you. Maybe we have some music.
I tried to find you in music, tried to find you in others, tried to find you in thought. I try to find you in a world I'll shape in, a world ever changing, and a never changing me. But God, you've been up with me all this time. You've been up with me all this time. Oh God, oh God, you're nearer than this voice of mine. You're one I can never define. Oh God, I didn't believe you existed, but you're the only consistent one that's here. And I didn't know it was you that I longed for. I see the sign on your front door. It says, who am I? Oh God, you've been with me all this time. You've been with me all this time. Oh God, you're nearer than this voice of mine. You're the one I can never define. Oh God,
Swami Guruji.
Oh, my darling. Oh. Bye. Bye.
She's in psychiatry.
What? Okay. Oh,